Beautiful. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I am your host, John Harris. Today on the Rock and Roll Podcast, we have Memoremains. They've got a new album called The Cost of Greatness, which is released on October 16th. Right now, I'm being joined by the most important members of the band, Alexi, Mikko, and Johanna, to share some more information about what the band has got going on, what they've been up to, about this record, which I'm incredibly curious about. What I've heard so far is incredible. So, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things I wanted to chat about almost immediately right off the hop was this album title, The Cost of Greatness. It just speaks volumes of what this record could potentially be about. Take us through that. What is The Cost of Greatness? Is it a concept album? Is there a theme? Is there something that you're trying to say?
And there was one guy who asked us that, why are you doing such an epic title for your first album, like The Cost of Greatness? Like, are we so great before we even have started our career? And we were like, no, it's not about us, really. We are not like giving some guides to anyone, like how it's to be cost of greatness, but it's a unique, universal thing that if you do something, it's like a time or something like that. If you do something too passionate, you have to let some other thing to go away. And that's the cost of greatness, for example.
Okay. So you guys have your debut album coming out. You're passionate about it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's a cost to that greatness. What is the cost of that greatness?
Well, a lot of work. The title of the last song, and it like includes the whole work that we have been gone through this whole project, and we have like put all our passion to it and like open new sides of all of us, and like that. Can you continue?
And like I said, if you want to do something really passionate, there's time going to do that thing, and you may have to take that time from being with your doing other things in your life, and that's the cost of being something.
Now, that brings me to kind of an interesting next question, because some of the things you mentioned, like time away from family and whatnot, traditionally, in coming out with a record, you would promote that by touring Finland, for example, maybe even touring, going into Scandinavia or going into other parts of Europe. This year's kind of changed that, eh?
Yeah, that's true. We did our first European tour last year, 2019, and we had actually plans to go on tour with this album, but as we know, that's not possible to go over our borders. But we had also plans for touring in Finland. We had some cool shows coming up with a great band called Battle Beast, but we don't really know if we're gonna do a lot of shows right now. It's very hard to schedule anything.
Right now, it seems that all our plans will be cancelled, whatever we do. So we are just waiting right now for the time that everything is possible again.
Yeah, hopefully next year will be like more positive, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And shout out to Battle Beast. I've had them on the show. Great guys. I dig them. I love them. Now, something about this year, though, is for some bands, it's definitely been very hard. For other bands, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise. So I guess take us through this year and crafting the album. Was it helpful to have the extra time away from, say, shows and touring? Or how has this year changed the creation of the Cost of Greatness?
We actually started to work on this album last year, and there was no signs of COVID or anything. Most of our time doing this album was actually on last year. Maybe this year gave us more time to record the album, but like composing and writing the album was pretty much done before the COVID. So the timing was not the best possible for us, because now when the things are really bad because of COVID, we have this marketing thing going on, and that's the maybe hardest possible thing to do right now, being a band.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, how are you then going about marketing the record?
the plan was to release it by this fall, and we didn't want to reschedule that or push up it any later. So, but because of the high demand our fans gave us, and we wanted to give that promise to them that it will come this fall, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
Cool. Now, something you mentioned was the pre-production had already been done. Songs are written, arrangements are settled, but it gave you guys a little more time to record the album. And something that I've heard in listening to the album is the production value is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for not delivering a boatload of crap.
We wouldn't do that to you.
But I mean, like the vocals are clear, they're present, they're heavy. The synths are clear, pristine. They're not in the way of anything. So obviously the arrangements were done very well. I love the guitar tone. What went into the extra time then to produce the record? Did you guys do some things in the studio or in the recording process that maybe you wouldn't have done?
I think there was quite fun when we did some experimental there, like some of orchestral things going on, and vocal harmonies. I think that was one thing we had pretty much like whole new level from our previous singles and that sort of stuff. So yeah, there were something that we wouldn't have done. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. Now, bringing it back to the couple of tracks we're going to chat about today, I'm utterly fascinated by the music video for Bring It On, because it shows it's almost like it's Taekwondo fighting, but it's not really like Taekwondo fighting. It's just like two chicks, you have a beef with each other or something. And is that you, Johanna? Are you fighting, or what's going on? What happened?
No, actually not. I'm just in the band scene. So they are two
athletes.
Yeah, and our friends also, our local friends, and we just asked them to like, can you play this scene and be the actresses of this, and they did a lot of good work. We spent the whole night actually and morning.
And they didn't actually know anything about fighting.
Yeah,
they are just acting there.
Yeah,
But they are doing it very well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very nice of them. What was the idea then? Like, what is the track Bring It On? It sounds very positive, very uplifting. And then to have like a dirty fight scene, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's about the challenges, and you have to face them. Like somebody can push you down, but our message is just bring it on. And these two girls fighting there, it's actually one of them fighting with,
against herself,
I guess,
right?
yeah, against herself.
Mm.
So it's like her own demons, like, and
some blocks in her mind that she's trying to
hit hard.
Yeah.
That's deep stuff.
Very deep.
Now, next track we're going to chat about is Pounding Heart, and very, I won't say similar music video. There's no chicks fighting in it, though.
Too bad.
Now, why is...
we wanted to make only just a music video where we play the song and bring the emotions on that way to that music video. And it was actually the first music video in this album and first single also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is this track about? Is it heart pounding because after Bring It On, she was fighting herself, so her heart is pounding?
It is also about like fighting against own thoughts, and like I was thinking about at that time when I wrote those lyrics, I was like reading a lot of things about anxiety, and the song was like in my mind it was like symptoms of anxiety at first, and then it came out from on the paper with the title of Pounding Heart, because when you face anxiety you sometimes get with like pounding heart thing or something like that. I don't know, but yeah.
Now you mentioned you were reading about anxiety. Is like a university project, or because you yourself?
No, I'm just like interested of like psychology and that kind of things.
Perfect. Now it seems like there's quite a bit of that theme running through the record, or at least with these two tracks we're chatting about today, fighting your own demons, winning that war against your own blocks. We even have a track called Lift Me Up. Where is the gold? Well, on the other end of the rainbow. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, leprechaun.
Exactly. Drown memories. Is that like taking a bad memory and drowning it? That sounds so aggressive.
Yeah. You got the point. Yeah, but maybe the composing it's not so angry in that.
Well, you will hear it.
Yeah.
But is that a theme that you guys said when we were writing down to write this record? Is that a theme, at least lyrically, that you wanted to have going across the record? Is overcoming boundaries or what have you?
Yeah, there is this golden idea in this album, but we would not like to describe it as a concept album because it's so it locks down so much. But there is this
similar theme all around the songs and the whole album.
Yeah,
but not that much. We would call it a concept album.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I guess one of my other questions, kind of just off the cuff now that I'm chatting, we've got the guitar player here. It looks like he's got an Ibanez guitar. I'm curious if you wouldn't mind taking us through the guitar tone that we're hearing, because it just strikes me as an incredibly unique but fitting guitar tone that somehow does not clash at all with the synthesizer tone that's there. And I believe we also have the keyboardist here. And we have a female vocalist. How did you guys get it so that you didn't clash, but you sound so powerful and huge?
That's our thing.
So fucking good.
Yeah. We have created this band like to glue up these elements, heavy guitars and Eurodantic keyboards and poppish vocals. And we have done it pretty like long time now, and
4 years.
4 years, and we have developed it to this level where we have created our own sound, and we appreciate that you love it.
Well,
and it was already very well in our first single that we released 4 years ago, and we have all the time grown the production. So this is what we are now. We are 10 years later, much better.
Because from an audio production perspective, basically the three of you guys are kind of fighting for the same space in a recording.
Yeah, we fight a lot.
Bring it on.
Yeah, we bring it on to each other.
There's a riot in the crowd, you could say, in the studio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interestingly enough, speaking of riots in the crowd, I'm guessing you guys wrote that track before there was a lot of rioting going on in the world. Does it seem kind of weird looking at the record now?
Now that you say it, yes,
We haven't
actually.
thought about it that way.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah, that song is quite universal too. Like, you can have riot of 3 people. It doesn't have to have many people to riot. Even 2 people can riot by themselves, and it's not so clear message either.
Could be a riot by yourself in the crowd of your own thoughts.
1 people can riot also.
yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I believe that we've covered just about everything. We chatted about Bring It On and Pounding Heart, the music videos for those. We chatted about your guys' time in the recording studio as a result of COVID-19 and how you were able to knock out an incredible sounding record. Looks like you had quite the production team as well with regard to that. I've got the notes on who did the recording, the mixing, the mastering, etc. What else did we chat about today? The album, The Cost of Greatness. We chatted about how life in Finland is. Dark, rainy, cold. Is there anything you guys wanted to chat about that I did not bring up?
Please follow our live stream next Thursday. We will pre-listen the album with our fans on our YouTube channel, and we would really like to invite all of the listeners.
Yeah. And it's the day before the actual release.
Yeah.
On Thursday.
Yeah.
15th.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hear our analysis about the album and the stories behind the songs and everything. What we figure out.
Yeah.
Okay. This episode will air after that, but that brings you to another good question. You guys had it was good though. I enjoyed it. But you're welcome. Very well rehearsed. You guys worked on that, I could tell.
Actually, I didn't.
But you bring up a good point. Live streams. Is this something that you guys are doing on a regular basis? Is this something that we should be expecting from Memoremains as long as COVID-19 is a thing?
Yeah, we have discussed it a lot now, and I think that's the thing we are really going to make effort.
Yeah, and actually last few weeks it has been appeared here in our hometown, and in the spring it wasn't that much in here, and actually it's right now in here, the COVID.
It's rising.
Yeah.
Well, that is no bueno, my friends. But hopefully you guys are staying safe. You're socially distanced, wearing masks, even right now as I see you guys, so that's good. Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, that concludes all of my questions. Thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.